Welcome back. This is the Alchemist Nation podcast. My name is Walter Amarillo, and this is a real estate podcast where I get to travel all across the country talking to real estate professionals who are millionaires, multimillionaires, looking to give back and lay it down, pay it forward. I'm here with my good friend, Michael Schein, the closing attorney. Mike Schein, we call you the closer. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Walter. Happy to be here.
So we were just joking that, maybe I couldn't find a guest, which is why we brought you back on, which is not the truth. In fact, we have so many people who want to be on this podcast. The real reason you're back is because the Alchemist Nation podcast is moving into a final stage of a book. And the book is called The 100 Millionaires Vol.1. Awesome. And I wanted to make sure that you were part of it. And
Awesome.
We did your interview so long ago that you've changed so much over the last few years. So before we dive into this, Mike, I'm very proud of you. You've done so much. It's pretty cool, watching this process.
That's awesome.
So if we go back, before we learn more about what you're doing right now, how did you get into real estate in the first place?
Yes. So we had a start and stumble like 10 or 15 years ago where we jumped into a property. But this time it was kind of accidental because my wife's mom was living with us, and it was just getting a little crowded for everybody. And then the universe manifested a 1-bedroom cottage right down the street 2 miles away that was like perfect for Nana. And I remember the realtor, who's a friend of mine, said, "Oh, this place is too small." And Brenda looked at it and said, "This is perfect." And so we snapped it up for it's just a little cottage with beach rights, but it was like 160,000. A lady from England was not going there anymore, so she sold it. And yeah, it's been a great investment. Unfortunately, Brenda's mom passed away, but after that, we learned about Airbnb because we did that for a whole year. And then we discovered that it would probably be better to just rent it out. So now we rent it out, and we have an amazing tenant, and that was the first one. So it was kind of necessity. It was great. Yeah.
So what's cool though is that you did learn Airbnb. You made an investment almost out of necessity, out of taking care of your family. And
Brenda became an Airbnb rock star. She had like 50 5-star reviews and became a super host. And
so this is Brenda Schein, and I know you talk about Brenda a lot. She is basically the backbone of the family, backbone of your investments. Yeah. Even though, I don't get to see Brenda too often. Well, occasionally we see her on Saturdays. Yeah, on Saturday calls, Saturday. I see her pop in.
She's usually in the kitchen.
Wow. Which is a whole other story, right? Like your kitchen is not a normal kitchen.
No,
right? It's got cabinets.
Open concept.
Right. It's open concept. It's got it's really open concept, right?
Yeah, right.
It's the affirmations you have around the kitchen that make it different, right? Every cabinet has, positive phrase. What are some of the phrases you have in the kitchen?
Visualize the end result. All good things are coming to me. There's just a ton of them. So Brenda puts them up there for her, for me, and for our kids to see. And it's great. It's empowering because you'll just be reaching for a cup of coffee, a coffee cup, and there's something that tells you. And it's funny because it usually is perfectly appropriate for what you're thinking about right then. Yeah. So the universe is very powerful in our kitchen.
It's amazing because you think about it. Where do people spend most of their time? Like in real estate, we know we got to renovate the kitchen. Like we spend our money in the kitchen and we've got the house sold. But I've never been in anybody else's house where I saw the affirmations like literally on the cupboards where your hand goes to the handle and your eye goes there and you see it every day right near the fridge. And I was really inspired by it. So
cool.
Karina and I are going to be adjusting our kitchen now.
Well, we've leveled up. I think I told you on our podcast that we've leveled up because she bought a laminating machine. And so now she can leave them up there. And then when she wants to clean the cabinets or whatever, she takes them down, puts them back up, and they last a lot longer. So yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah, it's inspiring. It's good to have a good life partner. Yeah,
absolutely. And
so
you go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, so that was our first purchase, but then the second purchase was this building that I'm sitting in. My law firm's office was in Pawtucket, which is like 35 minutes away, which would sometimes that would be over an hour because of traffic. And we kept driving by this building, and Brenda kept saying, you should buy that building. And we did, and we ended up moving my paralegals down here. So now the office has two fully functional offices, Pawtucket and North Kingstown. And again, that was just kind of necessity. So we have the firm paying downstairs, and we have a hair salon upstairs. So that's
But how many years in between those two investments, Mike? How many years was it?
it was like 3 months. Yeah.
So the first house, I want to go back to the first house.
Yeah.
The
Nana's
one
shack.
in Pawtucket. So the one before your good investment.
Oh, you want to go to that one? So we read a book called was it the Million? I don't think it was the Millionaire Next Door. It was the Millionaire something or other, and it was just God, I can't remember the name of the book. Automatic Millionaire.
Automatic Millionaire.
And it was like, oh, you can become a millionaire, and it's easy, and and just buy real estate. And so we bought this property and had a Section 8 tenant on the first floor, and I totally redid the second floor with like Home Depot and tiles and all that stuff, and I was doing all the demo, and that was amazing. And but then when we got it done, I just sort of panicked and sold it after like owning it for a year. And I joke around that everybody made money except for me. Lender made money, realtors made money, contractor made money. But the good news is it was my first foray, and I actually made $3,000. So if you can learn a lesson and make $3,000, it's not bad.
But it took you 18 years to trust real estate again. And it's just one of those lessons. I think it's important for people to know that, you can go and make a mistake in real estate, but if you get back in the game and you play the game right, you can really do well. How many units are you up to now, Mike?
31.
31. And we know the unit game doesn't matter, right? Like we talk about units,
right.
Because
well, I'm always talking about it, but I know actually that it doesn't even matter. It's really cash flow. But
it's about cash flow.
I will say that during that time period in between, we were buying, like, we bought a single family house that we lived in, and that was one that needed a ton of work. So it really was just
house hack.
A burr. Yeah, it was a house hack. It was amazing. And we bought it for 160. We put about 80 into it, lived in it for 2 years, and then sold it for 320. So we crushed it, and we did such a nice job. I love both Brenda and I always talk about that house because we redid the whole kitchen. But yeah, we did all sorts of really nice stuff. There was even a wall in the back that just was like an ugly wall. My buddy came with a Sawzall and cut a big hole, and we just pushed that down, and then we put a beautiful French door in there, and then we built a deck off of it with a jacuzzi. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That was the house. That was the first one that kind of really was a fun project. Yeah.
Yeah, we finished the basement. We did lots of cool stuff to it. Yeah.
I like it. So Mike, you've been investing now for a long time, right? You're great at stocks. You're great at now you're even great at crypto, right? But real estate, stocks, crypto.
I don't know if it's great. I follow Mitch Jaworski. That's my great advice.
We follow the scaredy cat. What he does, we do. Yeah.
That's right. But it's fun. I mean, I always love to learn new things, and it's exciting. Like I was saying, I was watching that video on decentralized finance, which when you say it, it sounds like paint drying, but it was really exciting. I don't know. I love that stuff. So crypto.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So Mike, you started writing a book on partnerships, and you've got this book coming out over the next few months. What is it that really drew you, aside from me telling you to go do a book on partnerships? What is it that you think drew you to partnering with people? Like, why did you start partnering with people? Why have you been committed to your wife for so many years? Like, what is it that makes you such a, I trust other people kind of person? Because a lot of people will say, I can't partner, or, I don't trust,
I think I have the other, when I talked to Brenda about this, I was always nervous to do things on my own. And so it just was, I can do stuff, but I just like to have somebody else there as a support. So as opposed to being like the lone wolf, I'm always like into connection, and I'm much more comfortable if there's somebody else taking the risk with me or handling the responsibility. So it just makes me more comfortable. So it's just been one of those things. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. Brenda and I have been together for 20 years. I don't have any desire to be alone. I love having a partner. So
Right.
yeah.
So I think that, but that is one of the elements that most people don't have, right? They have the opposite fear. And like you just naturally are saying, I would much rather have somebody else have that skill, have that, you know,
Right.
have my back. If something goes wrong, I'd much rather have somebody else involved who is more talented in this area than
Yeah.
myself.
I have I guess if I had a superpower, I could always tell if someone's full of shit.
So
And so
where did this come from? Like, where did this
I
superpower come
think
from?
you want to know, I think I was for a long time full of shit. And so it's kind of like one of those guys that quit smoking and then they hate smokers and they're always like
Yep.
ragging on them. I just noticed that if somebody is phony or not real, I sense it right away. That's my
Yeah.
superpower. So it never it never it hasn't been perfect, by the way. We've had some bad part. We had a guy who built our house. That was a bad experience, but I trusted him. But for the most part, it's spot on. So when I do a partnership with someone, I know I can trust them because gut reaction. I know if they're someone to run away from or someone to partner up with. Yeah. So that's
That's a
kind of the
powerful.
genesis of it. Yeah. So you noticed, I got to give you some credit because you did notice that my whole life as partners, like with my law firm and my wife, obviously, and with Ken with the 15 units and a couple other, like I have a 6-unit Newport, and you, Mitch, and I are going to partner. So
100 Millionaires podcast, right? You're like, I
millionaire
won't do it
partners,
by
exactly.
myself, but I'll do it with you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's more fun this way, you know?
Yeah.
I think I told you that story when I went to my parents' house to study for law school exams. And I took all my books, 10,000 pounds of books, got there, and 30 seconds later, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get out of here. I can't be here all alone.
You're going to find somebody to talk to.
So, yeah. So it's just been easier that way. And I think I'm a good judge of characters, basically what I'm saying. So
I'd say that.
yeah.
I'd say that if I were to give you credit for something, it is that you judge people really well. And you've been, man, it like, I don't know if it's luck or just that you really do have a good skill, but you're fantastic at identifying the right people to talk to connect us with, to connect each other with. Like even in the community, you're the first to say, hey, they should talk to this person, right? You're like that first spot to say, you know what, there might be a partnership here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know,
Got a
sometimes I'm like, is
couple
it,
coming up for you, so that's good. Yeah.
are you holding like that water stick, you know, like the wishbone and just like walking around and like you're pulled down like, partnership, I see it.
I love that. I love being the connector. You know, it's not, I know you posted something recently about, but it's not about the money. You get to do something that you absolutely love. And
Right.
even though I say things like I'm a money magnet, and that's one of my mantras, it really is not about the money for me. I don't understand, like, I don't want to be like Scrooge McDuck counting coins or something like that. I just enjoy the whole
You're just the
connection.
money magnet. Like you can't help that. Like that just is, right? Like, so that's like
I
being
told you
great at
that's
swimming and be like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I'm so great at swimming, right? Like,
yeah. It's like what was his Good Will Hunting, that movie, when he
yeah.
just says he just looks at a problem and he knows the answer. It's just so whatever. I don't know if I'm that capable, but I love connecting people. And also I do have to give a lot of credit to BNI because I've been doing BNI for like 10 years, and being in that mode of looking for referrals for your referral partners. And our group always emphasized all of us going to like chamber events and going as a team and meeting people. And so the value to your partners was that you could walk across a room and see someone that would be a perfect connection and say, hey, I need to introduce you to somebody. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah.
I love that you love BNI, because I as a realtor like hated BNI my entire career. I'd waste my time, and I'd be like, why am I here with these people?
Yeah.
We don't have nothing in common.
You're the top of the stream, I guess.
So being an attorney, you're right at the top. You have like a great positioning in BNI.
No,
And
so in our group was always the realtors have to bring deals to the mortgage person and to me. It's like you're sitting there early morning going, "What the F? Why am I here?"
why am I
Right?
in this?
Yeah. So I'm always with the realtors, our group, and the mortgage guy. I'm always trying to find other ways to add value because I know that they're bringing in the big deals. But if you do, if people just think the realtor's just someone who's coming to the group, they're gonna be like you and Dorina and be like out of there tomorrow.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to add value to the realtors. I
Right.
like,
So
but my
that's it. But just that's it. I look to add value, and and that's been ingrained because I've been in BNI for like 10 years because the mortgage guy, Ed, in that group has been sending me almost exclusively all his deals for 10 years. It's amazing. So
Yeah, and that's how you build your relationships. Like
yeah.
I think that's one of the keys to partnership, and it's in your book. I know you and I've talked a lot about what's
Yeah.
coming out in the book, and
Yeah.
like
So
that add value to somebody else. What are they looking for, and being able to find that and putting those two pieces together, because whatever somebody's strong in, somebody else is weak in, but
right.
together they have something much stronger, much more significant. And
Well,
I've seen the
perfect.
partnership power just between us, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, perfect example for me is Ken Hoffman, who was in
right.
the mentorship. He, I just texted that I needed a Ron because you have Ron Bowling, who you guys are an amazing partnership and it really works well. And I just put in the chat that I'd like a Ron, and Ken connected with me on that. And then we realized that we both live in North Kingstown, which is insane because this is like a Fall River thing. Like, how does that happen? Anyway, so, but yeah, we could see that there are things, and since we've taken down the 15 units, um, the partnership really works well, just like you said, because there are things that he is willing to do that I'm not, and there are things that I bring to the table that he can't at this point. So it's awesome, and we're chill about it. That's the other thing. I think that I don't see this in myself, but people say this about me, that I'm very chill. I'm kind of relaxed. It's not, I don't
I'd
mean
say
like,
that's true.
yeah, I'm saying like it's not. It doesn't mean that I don't have energy because I have energy, but nothing. I mean, there's not anything I think of that really phases me in my law business and
Yeah.
in the real estate business. It's yeah.
You're what Ron says. One level at all times. It's a great level to be at, but it's not like nothing really can disturb that. You're in the center of a peaceful lake, and there may be a
I don't know.
hurricane
There might be
outside,
that
but
duck that you can't see there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
The
the duck,
paddle
right? You're just like under
underneath
the
there.
water. But on
But
top, you're like, got all this. Been running it for days.
but I gotta give credit to Brenda because and to you as well. But because we did the 52 books and 52 books in a year, um, a lot of the books that we read on like being spiritual and things like that are kind of like there's nothing serious going on here. I think sometimes people get all stressed out and there's really no reason to be
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, there's nothing serious going on. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, we're not doing what Elon's doing.
Yeah, right.
Like, he does occasionally blow shit up, right? So sometimes, but
Yeah,
we don't, right? Like,
right.
nothing has ever. I'm trying to think if anything's ever even caught on fire in this business. Like, literally caught on fire.
I think for you it might have been two large snakes in the wall. That's
The
pretty good.
worst we've had are 2 tame snakes in
Yeah,
one of our rental properties. Worst
yeah.
case scenario. And maybe roaches when we ran the property management company, but like,
And mice at Anthony Street.
and mice. Okay. You know what? Some of these projects have had some interesting
But
situations.
I guess with mine, I surround myself with people who are more of the C personality or D, or they see stuff. So like when we bought the three unit here in North Kingstown, we got it for a low price, but we knew going in that we had to replace 2 furnaces, a roof, 2 circuit panels. They were fuses. There was a beam underneath. So it's like you can't know these things going in and then freak out about them when you have to like buy the furnaces and stuff like that. And I mean, actually, Brenda took that one over. She did an amazing job. She got all these great prices and found these great like HVAC guys that did a really nice job. And so we have happy tenants and happy subcontractors, and it's a cool place to be. Yeah. So
You've gotten to a good spot. Mike, you did it through real estate, you did it through partnerships, and you did it having a law practice.
yeah.
And your law practice has grown significantly. In fact, one of the reasons you and I started coaching early on was you were actually looking to increase your income. Your law practice, as I recall, was doing, 20 closings a month, and then you've hit months as high as 60 closings a month. And
77.
77
Yeah. So
in
yeah.
a month. And you still make it to all of our events. You still are on the podcasts every week, and you're still gaining and training and learning and studying stocks and spending time with your family and your kids and your wife. And it's it's one of those proofs that with partnerships you really can have a great quality life and a massive income and
Right.
build a really great business. But if you try to do everything yourself, like, it takes a lot of time, and you
Yeah.
can't grow as quickly.
I have an amazing partnership with my paralegals.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, they know that I'm bringing in closings and I'm doing the generation of business, but they do a lot of the administrative and that kind of stuff, and we have an understanding about that, and that's a great partnership as well.
And that's
Yeah.
how you've been able to bring on more paralegals, right?
Yep.
By you going out and doing what you do, you're able to employ,
Yeah.
family members now. So like you have two sisters working together, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal, right?
Yeah, and my Hannah is now working for us too, so it's pretty cool. So.
Oh, awesome. So Hannah's now, yeah. Oh, she is definitely, of all your daughters, all your sons, like, she's the one I could see being in the law office, right?
Yeah.
She's so like by the book.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, so just that sort of thing. I actually think that one of the things that you and I have in common is that we are quick to delegate and trust other people to do a good job. And you know, I've seen like I've even spoken to my law partner about this. He tends to be more of like the hub of a wheel with all the spokes going out, and everything has to come back to him. And on some on some levels that's a great way to be, because you if it depends on the type of case you're doing, but I want to have an amazing life, so I'm not um you know he'll sometimes be at the office like Sunday for like 9 hours, and I'm like, no, that is not that is
No.
not I'd rather hire someone, give away some of the money we earn so that we have a system. And it's really the systems. That's another credit for all the books, is that the books are constantly talking about put in systems. And for me, we were saying the money's not important. For me, it's about freedom.
Yeah.
So systems equal freedom for me. Yeah.
I agree. I like it. Mike, we're at that point where we've got the rule we don't have in the 100 Millionaires is a 25-30 minute rule, where on the
Perfect.
Alchemist Nation podcast,
I gotta
we're
go
gonna
get my
stick to it.
Tesla, so I'm good.
So I gotta go back and ask, if somebody wanted to learn more about partnerships from you, if somebody was looking to get to the next level, identify a partner, they realize, okay, they're getting to a certain point by themselves,
Yeah.
and they really want to explode and get more time, because that's the secret to partnering, is you get more time back, also more money, more time. What is the easiest way to get in touch with you right now?
Oh, yes. So you can text me on my cell phone, 401. Do not call me, but you can always text me, 401-486-5105. Or my email is mschein, which is MSCHEIN, at blaislaw, blaislaw.com.
Awesome.
And I'm
Excellent,
on
Mike. Very
Facebook too, if you
generous.
want to say hi, and you can see me on the 52 Wealth Principles every Saturday doing a book review. It's cool.
That's
I
right,
love
Mike.
that.
And your dedication to the community is amazing. Like everybody in there gets excited about the book review. They get excited to hear your side of it, your opinion,
But
what book we chose.
I
And
just wanted to back up. People think I came in there to do closings or whatever. Was never my intention. And my intention was just to learn from you how to buy more real estate. And so I would go to to East Main Street in Fall River and sit there, and it's really blown up. It's I appreciate you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity because it's fun. I mean, what we do is fun, and I'm hoping in the future I can do it from Tampa or Bora Bora or something like that.
Mike, I'm with it. I am okay with traveling a little and figuring out the best place to be.
Yeah, that's
As long as
awesome.
you can pick up your kids and go, like, man, the
That's
life is unlimited. We can go anywhere.
Yeah, it's so cool. Just put it on a
I
vision
agree.
board. That's my other thing, my other piece of advice. I put together a vision board, and Brenda was saying today to her sister Debbie, who's also watching your wealth principles or our wealth principle, and she said, Brenda said, well, now that I've seen that some of the stuff on Michael's vision board have come true, like his Tesla and Tesla to 4,000, that type of stuff. We have to put one together. So I'm like, yeah, don't forget the stacks of money,
Yes.
And
It works. It works.
that $1 billion.
So, Mike, let me segue into our last question. If you could
Sure.
go back to 20-year-old Michael Schein and give yourself 3 pieces of advice, what would those 3 pieces be?
So when I was 20, we used to hang out on the Seekonk River, like get a 6-pack, and there'd be guys and girls on a summer night just hanging out. Always worried the cops would show up and tell us to pour out the beer and drive away. But there was this friend of mine, John, he and his dad he drove a TR6, and he was like 20, and I'm like, what is? And he said he and his dad owned 10 multifamilies in Pawtucket, and they had done it together. And I think at the time I went to my dad, and my dad is the opposite. My dad's like a lone wolf. He's doing it all on his own. So I think the first piece of advice would have been to jump into the real estate early. And second would be to not wait for my dad to approve of things I was doing, because hindsight, you look back and you say, you take risks, and he took a ton of risks, and geez, what would be the third? I don't know. I've had so much fun. I don't know. Does that have more fun? I don't know. Take more chances. How's that? Take more risks.
Take
Yeah.
more risks. Take more
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's great advice.
So that's what I'm doing now, by the way. I mean, it's never too late. So all those things I'm saying, I'm jumping in, I'm taking more risks, and thankfully my mom and dad are still around, but I'm not worrying about what they think, which is, everybody has their demons. That was one of my demons, like, what would my dad think? And so I don't, and some of the decisions that he told me not to make, I made, and they've paid off in great ways. Yeah. Cool.
We all have our demons from our parents. Love them dearly, and
yeah, exactly. Love them dearly. I don't want to. Yeah,
love them dearly, but like there's whatever it is, like there's those things that we're just like, oh man, I'll never do that. So that's
they
a
have
pretty
their
good
own.
list.
They had their own parents who did stuff to them, and so you could go back forever. But so
Mike, what a great set of information, great conversation as always. I love hanging out with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you this Saturday, 10 a.m.
Yep.
And for everybody at home, please go to iTunes. And I discovered how to do this. And yes, if you go to the website, it's actually really hard to find where to do a review. But if you go to iTunes and download the iTunes app, then you can go in, find Alchemist Nation podcast, and write a review for us. Do a review for the 100 Millionaires podcast and Alchemist Nation podcast, so that we can continue to share more information, more content for people.
Do you have to own an iPhone to download the iTunes app?
I do not believe so.
Good to know.
But the iTunes app is the way to write reviews. They've made it silly, but that is how we do it. So
that's perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, and so look forward to getting my book out in the next couple of months, and then we're going to put a course together on it. So
partnerships from Mike Schein. It's coming. The closer will be teaching you how to do partnerships and close more deals.
Yeah. Sweet.
Mike Schein, this may not be the 100 Millionaires podcast, but let's sign us off.
Massive income from passive income. Thanks for having me on your Alchemist Nation podcast.
Mike, you are an alchemist. When you have a choice, always work with the best.
best.
Cheers to your success.